Hey everybody, how's it going? B Temple here again, and today we are going to move on with our next ration review. And the ration we've got on tap today is a Norwegian Arctic Field Ration, menu number 18. And the main entree we'll find here will be chicken curry. The Norwegian Arctic Field Ration is meant to be a freeze-dried ration, which is suitable for, as the name implies, Arctic conditions. And it says it should be around anywhere 1,300 kilocalories. But right down here, you can see this exact menu has 1,380 calories. So that's a fairly sizable meal. It's about the same as what you would find in a standard MRE, anything like that. But let's just open this thing up and see the items that we've got, and then try it all out. So, we have a real Choco Crisp protein bar, 39% protein. We've got our Real On The Go dark chocolate energy bar, 60% cocoa, so that's a fairly high number. Got ourselves an Orifo toffee protein bar, so a lot of protein here for this meal. 2 separate protein bars. Got ourselves a multivitamin. And a moist towelette, disinfection swab, whatever you want to call it. This one does actually use ethanol, so it's 70% alcohol. That's a very, very high number. As you can see, this is very flammable, seeing how it is 70% ethanol. We've got a freeze-dried Colombian coffee. I don't drink coffee, but so this will make its way into the random accessory bag that's left over. Now we've got our real field meal chicken curry entree. This is in the newer packaging for the real field meals, and this ration, the only manufacturing date I could find was 04/02/16. So that's either the 4th day of February 2016 or the 2nd day of April 2016. So it's a fairly recent ration, only a year or so old. You can also tell how these are newer. The packaging for these, especially the chocolate bar and the protein bar, are sort of the new way they do it. It's the easy way to tell. The best before date they have written here actually is 28th of December 2018. So this is meant to last a very long time. The best before date on this particular entree itself is actually February 2021. So yeah, this is meant to last for a very long time, which is a great thing if you're wanting to pick up one of these for, if you're a prepper or you're someone who wants to go camping or hiking or whatever, or something you can just throw into your backpack or your car or anything like that. So yeah, these should be pretty good. And next we've got just a spoon. It's a little bit flimsy, but it's not too bad. Next we've got a Bridgeford shelf-stable cinnamon bun. The outside of the package gave you the option of either having a cinnamon bun or the very, very famous MRE pizza. But sadly we got the cinnamon bun in this one instead of the pizza. But I've had something similar to this before, and it was actually very good, so should still be okay. And we've also got ourselves a energy drink with a taste of apple. So just a beverage-based powder mixed with 300 mils of water. It's a little bit smaller than what we're sort of used to, but it's actually a little bit more than what you would get in the Canadian IMPs, so shouldn't be too bad. Lastly, you've got a little double pack of spearmint chewing gum, and just a small Ziploc bag for refuse or extra components or whatever it is you need it for. So yeah, we'll get the tray out now and plate everything up, and then do a little run around and see how things look. Alright guys, so here's everything all plated up, and yeah, looks like it's actually a fairly comprehensive meal. A lot of good items here, so I'm looking forward to giving this one a try. First thing we'll do, seeing this is going to take the longest amount of time, is open up our freeze-dried entree and get that working. So it says here, put in water that's anywhere from 70 to 100 degrees Celsius. Let it sit for 8 minutes and then enjoy. So yeah, well, first we'll tear it open. You'll notice it actually has a zip tie as well here, so that's going to be working a lot better. One thing I don't like about the travel lunch. It's a fairly good hiss there, I must say. Get this up a little bit. Get a look inside. So we got nice big chunks of chicken. We got some rice. Looks like red pepper. And what appears to be a just a yellow curry. So this should actually be pretty good. Doesn't have much of a smell to it, which is a good thing. Something like this, a freeze-dried meal, shouldn't have too much of a smell to it. If it does, then there could be a possibility of some problems. But this is a very, very fresh freeze-dried entree, so this should be in perfect shape. So it doesn't actually say how much water to use. So, although it does give a fill line right here. So, sort of just eyeball it and pour in some boiling water and see how it goes. Look at our spoon out. Give this a nice stir. Try to get down into the corners. We don't want any dry bits coming out. This is giving off a fantastic aroma. It's a very, very nice curry sort of smell. It's not too pungent. It's going to be a nice mild curry, I would think, but seems to be mixing well. Got down to all the corners. So going to seal that back up. Lay it off to the side, and then let that sit for 8 minutes or so. Alright, while we're waiting for our entree to sort of reconstitute, I guess we'll take a little spin around the table and unpack everything and see how everything's looking. First, we're going to mix up our energy drink. So remember, this is an energy drink with a taste of apple. So the only other apple beverage I've ever had on the ration would be the apple beverage base powder in the UK ORPs, and those are actually pretty good, so it'll be interesting to see what this one's like. Instead of mixing it up in the bag, I think I'm just going to put it out in my standard Strongbow glass and give it a stir. It's got a very strong apple smell already. Give it a good stir. And now some of these beverage-based powders don't constitute well if the water's too cold, but we'll see how this one goes. It seems to be fine. Next, we will try out our dark chocolate. Sometimes these can bloom, pretty bad, although this is it's a fairly new chocolate, so we're hoping this is going to be in great shape. There you go. You can't ask for any better than that. That's just an absolutely perfect dark chocolate bar. Next, we'll open up our Orifo toffee flavored protein bar. Never had one of these before, so interesting to see what it'll be like. And it's got, you know, almost like a yogurt kind of coating to it. It does have a strong toffee smell, but also has a bit of a coconut kind of smell to it as well. I'm not sure if that's supposed to be there, but that's what I'm sort of picking up. It's nice and malleable, as you can see. So it'll be interesting to see what that's like. All right, next we're going to open up our Choco Crisp protein bar. This kind of has the feeling of those cereal bars you'd find from Orifo in some of the various European rations, but we'll see. So yeah, this does appear very similar to the Orifo cookies and cream bar. It's not quite as dark as that. It's got just a nice sort of chocolate cocoa kind of color. It smells fantastic, and it's nice crisps and things like that. So yeah, this should be a nice extra dessert. So we got a good assortment of chocolate here. Next, we're going to open up our cinnamon bun. See what this is looking like. Get rid of our oxygen absorber. Don't want to eat that. And here we have it, a Bridgeford shelf-stable cinnamon bun. Looks very similar to the ones that you find in MREs, American MREs. And you also see them in British rations and more besides. So just sort of break it open. It's got a nice sort of cinnamon sugar kind of center to it. Has a great smell. It does smell just like a, you know, bakery fresh cinnamon roll. Now I don't know if it's going to end up tasting like a bakery fresh cinnamon roll, but I guess we'll see. Lastly, we've just got a little pack of spearmint gum. Two little briquettes of that. And we've got ourselves a multivitamin. So there you have that. Almost looks like it's a Advil cold and sinus or a ibuprofen tablet, but that's a multivitamin. And by now, I would say the entree is probably reconstituted well enough, so we'll get that plated up and then we'll try everything out. So this is still nice and warm, still very warm actually. So let's open it up and get it out on the tray. It's not too soupy. I don't like when freeze-dried entrees end up too soupy. I usually try to add maybe a little less water than what they call for, but this appears to have reconstituted very well. So let's pour it out. So that appears to be a very nice portion. It's a good size. Seems to have reconstituted well. There's no sort of pockets of dry bits left, so looks great. You can see nice chunks of chicken in here. Let's try to get a nice full spoonful and give this a try. Like I said, it's a nice yellow curry. There's a nice smell to it, and that's very nice. It's a very, very mild curry. You're not going to worry about it being too spicy. The red peppers are there. You're not really picking up much of the flavor of the red peppers, but the chicken seems to be fairly fairly sizable, and you know, it's the flavor of it's present. Now the chicken itself actually has a look as if it's sort of processed more than just actual real pieces of chicken, but doesn't really change much of the flavor, just maybe sort of the texture of it as you're eating it. But this is very good, I must say. I'm very impressed with this. And as you go along, it's probably more of a chicken flavor than actually a curry flavor, which is, I guess, good and bad at the same time. If you're someone who likes curry, you'll probably be a little bit disappointed that you're not getting a really strong sort of curry flavor from this. But it's nice. You do get a little tiny bit of heat that sort of kicks in right at the very end after you've sort of swallowed. Sort of just a bit of an aftertaste kind of thing, but it's nice. This is really, really good. You know, probably nice to have a little bit of naan bread or something like that with it, but, you know, you don't get naan bread in rations, so I guess we're not going to have it. And then I guess next, guys, we'll just do a little run around the table. First, we'll just try out our apple drink, just to cleanse the palate a little bit. As you can see, and it's totally reconstituted, it's almost entirely clear. It's only just a very faintest sort of tinge of yellow, green yellow to it. So let's see what it's like. Oh, that's fantastic. It smells like it's a very sour apple kind of flavor, but you don't get that much sour once you taste it. You know, it's a very sweet sort of drink, but that's fantastic. I hate to have to say it, but I think I probably enjoy this apple drink more than I do the ORP apple drink. So that's saying something. Next, we're going to try out the protein bars. I guess first of all, let's try out the toffee one from Orifo. Just get another look at that again. And that's an incredibly dense protein bar. It's pretty much no different from any sort of standard protein bar you can buy in a a health food store or a pharmacy, grocery store, anything at all. You know, something like Pure Protein or whatever. But it's nice. It's got a strong toffee smell, but not a particularly strong toffee flavor. I'm picking up more coconut in the flavor actually than I am the toffee itself. It sort of comes in at the end. It's more of a sort of a caramel kind of flavor. But it's nice. It's really, really pleasant. I mean, if you're someone who likes protein bars, maybe some people don't, but it seems to work out pretty well. Let's try out the, I guess the Choco Crisp protein bar next. And that's great as well. It's got a lovely cocoa scent and flavor to it. It's not too chewy, where it's so much Rice Crisps, it sort of breaks apart fairly easily. There's a nice crunch to it if you're someone who enjoys that sort of crunch texture. And yeah, that tastes fantastic. That's great. This is turning out to be a very, very good ration. I'm very impressed. Next, we'll try out the cinnamon bun. It seems like there's an awful lot of dessert type items here. You're getting one large entree, and then not really much of what you would call a side per se, but then you've got basically 4 different dessert items, which, I mean, maybe some people like that, some people don't. To me, this is a sort of a great idea for someone who's got a little bit too much of a sweet tooth, I guess. But let's try out this cinnamon bun, see how this is going. And that's fantastic. Sometimes these Bridgeford shelf-stable items, like the turnovers, the cinnamon buns, the bread, they can have a little bit of a strange aftertaste. You can easily tell that this is a very, very new, fresh ration, because this doesn't have any sort of bad aftertaste. It's nice and moist. Yeah, it's just got a great flavor. This is probably the best cinnamon bun I've ever had in a ration so far, you know, out of all the European ones or the American ones. So that's just great. I guess lastly, for the actual food items, we'll give a piece of this 60% chocolate a try. It's a nice snap. It's a very, very dark chocolate, as you can see. Now that's a lovely, bitter, dark chocolate. Maybe a little bit creamier than I would have expected it to be for something that's 60% cocoa. But yeah, that's just great. I guess we'll just cleanse the palate once again. And our 2 final items. I guess we'll just take our multivitamin just to have that done for the day. And now that everything's all sort of finished up, well, it's not finished up. I'm going to sit down and eat all this now after I'm done. But we will try out the chewing gum, just one piece of it, just to see what it's like. So yeah, that's fantastic gum. It's a nice, very strong spearmint flavor, which you get right away. And instead of it being something that disappears within 5 or 10 seconds, you know, the spearmint actually stays around for a long time, which is something that you don't always get in chewing gum that you find in rations. So all in all, this is fantastic. I'm very, very impressed with the quality of the components, the items that we're getting here in this Arctic field ration. The entree is wonderful. I'm looking forward to finishing this off now as quickly as possible, because it's around dinner time now, so I'm pretty hungry. And, you know, as they say, man's got to eat. So, yeah. Thanks a lot, guys, for stopping by and watching this review of a Norwegian Arctic field ration, menu number 18, the chicken curry. And we'll be coming back to you as quick as I can. I believe the next ration I may try is a German Type 7 Einmannpackung, or an EPA. But maybe we'll see if something else is in the pipe as well. But thanks a lot. Have a good one.